The night Bruce Wayne finally meets Iron Man, Gotham's sky looks broken. Lightning flashes behind crooked towers. Sirens wail far below. And something red and gold burns through the clouds like a falling star. For once, Batman isn't staring down at crime. He's staring up. Because that thing in the sky? It's not a jet. Not a drone. Not anything from his files. It's an answer to a question he's never dared ask. What happens when the world's greatest detective meets the world's most dangerous engineer? If you love impossible team-ups and brutal what-ifs, hit subscribe. Tonight, we find out what happens when the Bat stops fighting alone. Rooftop. Rain. A body on the pavement. Third dead CEO in a month. Same burn mark in the chest. Same strange residue. Cowl lenses zoom in. The wound isn't from a bullet. It's a neat circle of melted flesh and bone, surrounded by particles Bruce has never cataloged. He hates that. Fragments glint in the puddles. Metal. Not from any gun on this earth. His scanners spit out something ugly. Energy pattern resembles a miniature arc reactor. The kind Tony Stark would build in his sleep. If Tony Stark existed here. He doesn't. So whoever made this is either from somewhere else or stealing from someone who is. Thunder rolls. Then changes. The noise tightens. Sharpens. A deeper hum cuts through the storm. Refined. Engineered. Bruce looks up. Something streaks overhead. Red and gold. Plasma burning at its heels. It stops dead over the skyline. No drift. No wobble. Just perfect, arrogant balance. His HUD flares warnings. Unknown energy. Unknown flight system. Unknown threat level. He already knows the answer. Maximum. He fires the grapnel. Launches off the ledge. Cape spreads. Wind slams into him. He doesn't hesitate. He never hesitates. Inside the armor, Tony Stark watches a black shape slicing up through the rain. The HUD draws the outline for him. Pointed ears. Cape. Armored, plating over old scars. You've got to be kidding me, he mutters. I fall through one portal and land in night-themed Gotham Disneyland. He opens external audio. Hey, tall, dark, and emotionally unavailable. You local? Bruce lands on a flickering billboard. White lenses narrow. He says nothing. The two of them hover over the city. One glowing like a reactor. One swallowing light. For a second, there's no crime. No noise. Just two different kinds of obsession measuring each other in the rain. Then the alley below explodes. An unmarked drone powers on. Hidden in the garbage. Arc muzzle glowing. It locks onto both of them at once. Blue-white blasts rip through brick. Windows shatter. Screams ignite the streets. Batman moves first. He dives through the glass. Cape wrapped close. He falls like a sniper round. Tony drops after him. Repulsors roar. The drone tracks them both. Its code is ugly. Adaptive. A copy of Stark design twisted by someone with no conscience. Bruce reads the rhythm mid-fall. 3-shot bursts. Half-second pause. Slight delay when it changes target. He uses the gap. Grapnel hook hits the wall. He swings low. Batarangs whip from his hand. They slice the drone's side open. One cannon dies. Sparks pour out. Tony doesn't waste it. Micromissiles fire. The drone splits in two. One half fizzles out. The other half adjusts. Recalibrates. Chooses the brighter energy source. Iron Man, of course, Tony says. Shoot the guy wearing the light bulb. Shots slam into his armor. Nothing fatal. But every hit gives the drone more data. Tony can feel someone else's fingerprint in the code. Some ghost engineer trying to learn his tech through stolen scraps. He hates that. Batman hits a fire escape. Yanks out an EMP charge. He waits one heartbeat. Throws. The blast swallows the alley. The half-drone targeting Tony chokes. Falls silent. Crashes into a dumpster. Sirens roar closer. Red and blue lights paint the walls. Tony raises his hands automatically. Relax, okay, I'm technically trespassing. But I'm the good kind. By the time the first officer clears the corner, the Bat is gone. Back to the dark. Later, in the cave, the air feels thinner. Screens bathe the rock in blue. Bruce replays the footage. Frame by frame. Armor. Flight pattern. Energy output. Nothing about this man matches his world. He tags the file. Name, Tony Stark. Status, not from here. Across the city, In a half-lit office, Stark does the same. Armor open. Arc reactor casting circles on the floor. He scrubs through his own recording. The cape. The throws. The way the bat dropped into the fight without asking a single question. Okay, mystery rodent, he murmurs. Let's see who you are. He hacks police feeds. Satellite sweeps. Bank cameras. The same silhouette keeps showing up. White eyes. Pointed ears. Criminals hanging from fire escapes afterward. Tony smiles despite the situation. Another rich lunatic with a mission. He almost feels at home. Almost. Then he pulls up the energy logs from the drone. The core isn't his. Not exactly. It's a cheaper imitation. Someone reverse-engineered his work from another universe. Built knockoff death machines. Sold them here. Someone's running a multiversal arms racket, he says. In my name. That's the part he can't let go. Bruce reaches the same point from the other side. Shipping manifests. Shell companies. Fake front businesses. Everything leads to one place. A river yard full of rusted containers. He goes alone. Of course he does. Midnight. Rain slams the metal roofs. The river stinks. Batman slips through the gates. Every footstep precise. Every sound cataloged. Thermal lenses sweep the rows. No guards. No dock workers. No rats. Too quiet. He pries open a container. Inside, crates. Inside the crates. Pieces of another world. Arc core rifles. Drone shells. Armor plates curved in a style he now recognizes. Same signature as the alley. Same fake Stark logic. This is not some street thug operation. This is a factory for a future war. Behind him, the air vibrates. That same controlled roar. Repulsors. Batman doesn't turn immediately. He already knew the sound before it finished. Iron Man lands behind him. Metal on metal. No attempt at stealth. Good news, Tony says. You broke in first. Bad news, these guys are using my name. And I take that really personally. Bruce finally looks at him. Close now. He can see the hairline stress fractures in the armor. The micro-adjustments trying to adapt to a world it wasn't built for. Tony's HUD feeds him Batman's vitals. Elevated heart rate. Old injuries screaming under fresh strain. A man who rebuilt himself out of stubbornness and pain. For 1 second, they see each other clearly. Not costumes. Not myths. Just two broken men who refuse to stay broken. Then the floor hums. Hidden explosives arm under the containers. Tony's HUD erupts with warnings. Power surges through the arc cores. The light shifts from calm blue to murderous white. If they go off, the yard becomes a crater. The river boils. Half the evidence vanishes. Bruce feels it in his bones. No time for plans. No time for ego. He looks at the stranger in the metal shell and does something that feels worse than stepping off a rooftop. He lets go of control. Stabilize the cores, he snaps. I'll find the manual overrides. No joke this time. No argument. Tony just nods. Repulsors flare. He rockets upward, chasing the rising hum. Batman dives deeper into the maze of containers. Rain and light and fear crashing together. If they survive the next minute, Tony Stark will have questions. Bruce Wayne will have demands. And somewhere between those two obsessions, a new kind of training is about to be born. The river yard erupts with blinding light. Every arc core in the containers screams like a dying star. The ground trembles under Batman's boots. He doesn't run. He calculates. Every wire. Every junction. Every inch of the maze twisting around him. Then he moves. Fast. Precise. No wasted breath. Above him, Iron Man cuts the storm in half. He scans each overheating core. He projects blast radii. He predicts failure points. But there are too many. Hundreds. All rigged to chain react. Okay, this is bad, Tony mutters. Even for me. He fires stabilizers into the first core. Energy flows. But the reaction spreads anyway. It crawls through the container walls like fire through dry leaves. Batman shouts up through the storm. Cut the master line. North Junction. Tony twists midair. So there is a brain under the ears. He rockets toward the junction tower. Lightning fractures behind him. And then, a drone rises from the shadows. Larger than the alley models. Heavier. Faster. Arc emitter glowing like a stolen heart. It hits Tony mid-flight. The blast sends him pinwheeling across the yard. Armor screams. Systems buckle. He crashes through a crane arm. Metal snaps. He tumbles hard onto the asphalt. The drone locks on again. Batman is already moving. He sprints across the container roofs. Cape snapping behind him. He dives. Slides down a metal wall. Throws a magnetic disruptor mid-fall. It detonates against the drone's chassis. The guidance system spasms. Its aim goes wild. Shots spray into the sky. But it's not enough to drop it. Tony staggers up. He wipes soot off his faceplate. I liked you better when you were brooding quietly. The drone charges a full blast. Big one. A tank killer. Tony braces. He won't dodge this one. Batman doesn't give him the chance. He leaps off a rooftop. Gloves clamp onto the drone's back. Sparks burn his suit. Heat shoots up his arms. He jams a batarang into its exposed node. It detonates sparks. The drone spirals downward. But Bruce doesn't let go. He rides it, forces its fall, slams it into a stack of containers. Metal collapses around them. The drone dies with a final ugly whine. Tony stares. Okay, that was actually badass. But the cores are still overloading. 3 seconds till cascade. Maybe 4. Tony launches again. Armor limping, but still flying. He reaches the junction tower. Panels glow white hot. Every warning in his HUD is screaming at him to back off. He ignores all of them. He grabs the intake conduits with both hands. His armor channels power out of the system. Drains it. Consumes it. The tower lights flicker. Then dim. Then finally die. Below, the glowing containers fade to cold, dark metal. Batman allows himself one breath. Only one. The yard is silent now, except for the rain and 2 exhausted men trying not to show how close they both came to dying. Tony touches down beside him. Visor retracts. Hair wrecked. Face streaked with ash. You know, he says, for a guy with no actual superpowers, you jump on exploding murder drones like it's your day job. It is, Batman says. Tony laughs. He actually laughs. It echoes through the empty yard. Then the humor fades. As reality settles in. These weapons were not prototypes. Not tests. They were shipments. Ready for distribution. Someone wasn't just copying Stark tech. They were mass-producing it. And worse, they were doing it in Gotham. Batman steps between the crates. His fingers brush the scorched metal. He sees the future these weapons promise. Corrupt cops wielding arc rifles. Crime lords in knockoff armor. Ordinary people dying under tech they can't understand. He clenches a fist. We need to find who's building these. Tony taps the arc core shard on his gauntlet. Already working on it. But your world has terrible Wi-Fi, by the way. Bruce turns. Direct. Focused. Then you stay. Tony blinks. I'm sorry, what? You stay in Gotham. At least until we stop this. You're inviting me? No, Batman's voice is low. Sharp. I'm recruiting you. Tony opens his mouth. Probably to make a joke. But something in Batman's stare shuts it down. Not fear. Respect. Mutual recognition. 2 men who build their own answers because nobody else does. Tony nods slowly. All right. But I'm not sleeping in a cave. Bruce almost smiles. Almost. Over the next week, Gotham changes. Quietly. Silently. One machine at a time. Stark scans every arc core remnant. Batman hunts distribution routes. Together, they track patterns only geniuses could decipher. Tony programs micro-drones the size of insects. Batman plants them across the city. Tony builds a mobile diagnostics rig. Batman attaches it to the Batmobile without asking permission. Every night, Stark reverse engineers more stolen tech. Every dawn, Batman finds another clue pointing to the next shipment. Pieces start to form a picture. A horrifying one. Someone wants to merge Gotham's criminal underworld with Stark-level weaponry. And they're close. Too close. One night, Tony sets a holomap on the Batcomputer table. The projector paints Gotham in light. Lines. Nodes. Factories. Shipping lanes. Everything converges toward a single point. A lab beneath the Narrows. Hidden under old sewer blueprints. Running off stolen power grids. Tony crosses his arms. Whoever's running this, they're smart. And they know you. Bruce says nothing. But he knows that location. Too well. Half his nightmares start there. Tony turns. Helmet in hand. So, What's the play? Batman answers with a sentence he never thought he'd say. We upgrade. Stark's eyebrows lift. Oh, I've been waiting for this moment. What follows is 6 hours of controlled chaos. Tony scans the batsuit, critiques the armor density, insults the power efficiency, calls the cape dramatic but stupid. Bruce ignores half of it, accepts the other half. Together, they forge something new. A hybrid. Bat stealth fused with arc precision. Lightweight plating with stark microfiber muscles. A cowl HUD with both their interface languages colliding in real time. Tony steps back, crosses his arms. Congratulations. You're now 90% less likely to die in a stupid way. Bruce doesn't respond. But inside, he feels something unfamiliar. Not hope, not trust. Potential. The kind of potential that only appears when two impossible minds collide. Tony seals the last plating. The suit comes alive. Blue lines pulse under the armor. Batman flexes. No strain. No lag. Everything obeys instantly. Stark whistles. Okay, that's terrifying. Bruce turns toward the Batwing. Then imagine what it'll do to them. They launch into the night. One man wrapped in shadows. One man glowing like a comet. Gotham looks smaller beneath them, but more dangerous, more fragile, because in the city's darkest heart, someone waits. Someone building an army of false Stark weapons. Someone who knows Batman's methods and fears neither of them. A voice crackles through Tony's comms. Distorted. Mocking. Hello, Mr. Stark. Hello, Bruce. Bruce freezes. Only for a second. Tony's HUD flares. Did he just wait? He knows your name? Static. Then laughter. I've been expecting both of you. Come to the Narrows. Come see what your future looks like. The comm goes dead. Batman clenches the controls. Jaw tight. Tony looks over. What was that? Bruce answers with the truth he hates most. A ghost. The Narrows rise ahead. Dark. Rotting. Waiting. And somewhere below, a man who should not know Bruce Wayne's identity is building weapons that should not exist. Tonight, Batman enters the Narrows as something new. Forged by Stark. Sharpened by fear. Tonight, the city is about to meet the armored bat.